to New York, so.
I know.
Yeah.
What's that about?
You know, like, it's just not that cool, so we changed it. Anyway, DK gets blue side now to start off, and no Cassante here for clear. I'm hoping that DK shows a bit better of a draft. I wasn't too happy with the Victor into Azir specifically, and I know a lot of the guys on our team here also weren't exactly happy with it for them. But BNK, they took advantage of it, and a lot of respect to the way they played, especially Diablo, showing off that he is in fact a contender.
Jungle Bans. Jungle Bans.
Porky Ban.
What do we still have open? Lee, I guess. Lee LeBlanc. That is a D+ special. I wouldn't hate a Lee ban. I'm not gonna lie. If you're maintaining this, the Corki ban is truly still a source of questions that I don't think we get answers. I don't think Maokai is that good anymore.
Also,
really,
it's loose.
It's just, yes. Well, this Maokai got better.
It did get
but
better,
it's still not,
yes.
It's still, if he's playing Maokai, I think you're feeling pretty... I would much rather face Lucid Maokai than, like, if they end up blocking Lee LeBlanc here, good luck.
You're in trouble.
That's not us.
They already got first pick Ashe, which really just even helps make that duo stronger.
So you
Sets
go
of
Kalista.
picks. Yeah.
Well, Kalista, Renata's obviously already taken away. Kalista Rel, Kalista Poppy, I think both make sense.
Kalista Hui.
Xin Zhao here. Well, this is as good of a setup as I've seen for Kazakhs in a while, but I don't think the champion is that amazing at the moment. The other answer we've seen is what, Brand, which actually did work out very nicely. And then we could see, what, like Viego? Those are the ones that come to mind right now. It will be Viego, so what, Viego with Braum? I like that. I mean, that's a good setup. Just a ton of early skirmishing power is really what you're going to be looking for. Like, both these two comps already are showing their colors. It's going to be about who does better in the early skirmishes, and having this setup of Ash Arrow. Blind Grom is a little scary, but realistically, with a Kalista, you're generally going to want to play a support that goes in, right? You want to play aggressive.
Or
I
Elise.
don't mind.
Nico.
Oh, Nico.
Right?
Yeah, no, I love that.
You get some of these, like, engage enchanters. I guess that's not really a thing. I think I just made that up.
No, I like
Engage
it. No,
enchanters.
you're right though.
They're just like spellcasting engage
It's like
champs.
mage enchanters, I guess, because not really
Yeah.
enchanter.
Because you don't want to play like Hui in this situation. You want to play something.
Mage engage. There's got to be a mage gauge. Is that it?
In mage? That sounds...
And mage?
That
I like
just sounds weird.
No, I like mage. Engage.
Yeah, but you're Dutch, so...
Well, I'll have to throw that in my face.
I mean, we were just talking about how it wasn't cool.
No, it's not. You're right.
I mean,
do
Dutch
really
people
like
are very
Nico
nice,
here.
so I think it's fine. You got something going for you.
Which is good. We have good cheese, I guess. I don't know. Like, I was going to say good food, and like, that's just not true. As the Nico
You put sprinkles
into
on
Braum.
bread, so that you just lose.
Okay,
there.
our chocolate is good. That's high quality stuff. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Don't get me started on the snacks. I'm trying to talk about the game here, fellas. Come on,
Stroop
get
waffles.
it together. Well, those
Okay.
are great. Those are great. Stovap.
They are good,
Yeah.
yes.
So we will have the Gragas band away as well. I'm wondering if they're looking to pick up Renekton for clear them here on 4 and then keep hidden what Viklas's going to do, which I quite like. I think Showmaker is one of those players that really benefits from getting a counter pick. So giving the counter pick opportunity. There is also the possibility of the Nico still going to mid, but I don't think that's likely. It does feel like Kellen is probably going to end up playing that here, particularly into the bomb.
Yeah, does feel very likely. And really the question is, which one do you go ahead and blind pick here? Wouldn't mind the Renekton, as you were talking about.
Yeah, the no-brainer.
Yeah, just go ahead and pick it up. Clear, very strong Renekton player. Still a lot of discussion, so it seems like maybe they were considering something else. Or maybe using that time to talk about their final pick.
They don't ban the LeBlanc. That's actually a really big show of confidence to come through here. Aiming has been hovering a lot of fun champions. Don't fall for it, everyone. It's actually interesting that they don't ban it away, given that they banned it in, what, like game number 2? To see what is going to be the setup here. I actually really liked Shiu's sign last time. Gives you the opportunity to lane swap as well, and he played one of the more aggressive sign games I've seen, which was very, very fun. We're getting a Showmaker cam, and he's looking like he's trying to convince his team of something. You need AP, you want setup. I think Lissandra goes kind of hard here.
Are you
Cannot
serious?
play with my heart like that. There is oh! It's happening!
It's happening!
It's back!
Showmaker Zoe! We had a meta where we had just everybody playing Zoe. It was OP, and everybody was really good at it because we had a lot of great mid laners.
Okay, but is it actually good though? Because I'm looking.
It's
I'm looking
not good
at,
into Galio.
I'm looking at the BNK.
I'll tell you that.
I had the BNK comp, but that's
Galio was one of those old counter picks
God,
into Zoe, right? Because what you can do is if you get slept, you can just channel your taunt. And you can punch away, right? There's a lot of ways to like gain distance. Also, if she misses and you get in range and you're Galio,
yeah,
you're feeling pretty good.
So if I look at these two comps, I'm looking at the like no nameplates. I'm looking at BNKs. I'm like that's awesome, right? You have the only thing I'd argue is that your engage is very gated by Kalista ult. Everything else is a lot more conditional, but
You don't have a whole lot of damage,
yeah, if you fall, well,
especially depending on the Galio build.
either of these two comps, if they fall behind, I think just fall apart.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be very brawly. Like Zoe that is behind doesn't do anything. Viego's the same. And then the flip side, everyone is super short range or melee on BNK. So I think that this is going to be a game that's, again, decided very much by the early game. But the BNK drop just feels awesome to me.
Hashtag high K-drill.
Love to see it. Very cute.
That was a Korean fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving the shout-outs nonetheless.
Oh, this mother and son came down to watch the game.
Also adorable. But I want Zoe to win. Can you imagine if we get like BDD, peak BDD Zoe back again?
Yeah.
The pick
Baker
that almost
Zoe.
dragged them to a World Final in 2021?
We need this.
We need the win!
We need this. All right, let's see how it happens if they get the win with Zoe. Let's hop onto the Rift. Alrighty. Well, we're invading. We have Braum. That is what we do. And by we, I mean DK. Bro thinks he's part of the team. I don't know why I was saying we. But they are invading, and they're getting some very nice deep vision. They should be able to get a lane ward here. We already do have clear way up in the lane.
Yeah, being Renekton into Ashe Braum is going to be a very bad time. I can tell you that now. That's not going to be enjoyable.
So they're going to see this. Does he, like, back and they try to re-swap?
It's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point you can't.
Yeah.
Try and get some damage down. Is Kellen on Chiu? We'll see. He is trying to be respectful. Is definitely going to take
Oda!
good amount of autos here, though. It has the shield, so it's not too bad. And it really does feel like he's just going to get completely zoned out here early on. I wonder what his decision making is going to be. It looks like he is just going to take it. And to be fair, with Sion, like, so Showmaker is showing that Vikla has clearly not played against Zoe in a while, as he just autos him to death.
Yeah, I don't really know how Vikla is taking this much damage. And there you go again.
Yeah, he took the first Q and a bunch of autos, and then...
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you pointed out, one of the big things with the Galio is that once you have a couple of skills, I think the combo can actually trade back quite nicely.
Yeah.
But Showmaker also, I remember very vividly, or I forgot which tournament it was, maybe it was in 2021, but he ended up going like Conqueror LeBlanc with a longsword just to bully a Galio so much in the early levels that the game became unplayable. If Vikla falls too far behind earlier, like, Galio is not going to be as tankish. Shiu is expected to die here. That's why you lock this champion, but will Clear live? That's the big question.
Yeah, really the question is who dies first, right? So he has taken the slice and dice. He's trying to get away, but the first blood goes over to BNK.
Level 2.
And now Clear level 2, this dive not really working out. I mean... the question was who dies first, but DK do not get the dive to work, so it's only going to be one kill in his first blood. One of the feats of strength here to BNK. That's huge.
Redive should be coming through here. If they can slow the push down enough, because Lucid really wants to get red buff before he continues. Might not be an opportunity though, because Clear is going to hit level 3. He's going to have all skills available. As we take a look here, obviously got distracted. You're expected to die, as mentioned. Shio just gets tagged. Even without a wave for Raptor to set up at, there's just no way for you to ever live here. But the whole point of Sign is that he can then get the wave. And Clear here, crucially, able to E through, and then off of the one minion there with the auto actually ends up getting the level up. The damage just isn't quite there. I think that they could have pushed it a little bit further and maybe have made it, but doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Barrel also having to heal instead of the ignite, which did end up keeping him alive, but also meant that the damage maybe not quite what they were expecting. But this is the funniest thing about this. She was still up in gold, despite everything. Obviously, the Sandal going over to BNK is a big win for them, but it's just being able to catch the wave is a big deal. Now, Clear did get the experience, and I do think that that's the most important part, but it does show why the Sign is a high-value picker in these late subs. I'm honestly surprised we don't see more of it, because it does really feel like shutting him down consistently is very tough to do.
Yeah, I feel like teams just don't really value him as much as like the top tier picks, you know, like the Casantes, like the Jace we've seen, the Ambessa, obviously, some of these more obvious ones, the Rumble. But like once we get past those levels, we are beginning to see more and more of this, especially out of Shi, who was very impressive the last time. So we'll see if it works out for him. Here in the top lane now, just a duo, and it's the Kalista who's out harassing the Ashe.
I could not imagine a more perfect champion for Diablo than Kalista. Well, Zeri is close, but Kalista already also feels like it's perfectly in line with what it wants to play. That's going to be a full wave, just being missed out on by aiming and barrel. And in the 2v2, I feel like they've kind of been getting pummeled. And this is, to be fair, in this matchup, that's kind of what you knew was going to happen. The Ashe is also picked for a lot of the utility she provides, and they did lane swap to try and get out of this matchup. But a dive would have, the dive actually working out would have been a really big deal for trying to make this a little bit more manageable. But now, with that pickaxe, Diablo is just gonna keep beating down. Mid lane matchup, though, is looking good. Showmaker up about a wave and a half. Gonna be feeling great about that, and Shio also scared. And this does feel like the type of game where I think DK, particularly in the mid game, are going to be looking to play around specific picks. If they can get those, I think this composition still works. And the front to back is quite solid. I do think BNK are a little bit more gated by time, but I also think that their early skirmishing and team fighting is a very scary thing to face.
So trying to fight over the grubs here. We got a sleep already on the jungler here, Raptor. Huge knock-up as Vikla just face-checking into the brush. He has no idea that Shiu was there. Not sure how. I thought he ran through mid, but that's going to be huge. It's a double kill here now.
Viego!
And now, oh, we almost saw the obnoxious Zoe bubble as well. But yeah, you TP'd into this. You were trying desperately to fight over this, and you just got kind of run over.
Oh, that's very, very rough timing for BNK, because that is a heavy investment, and I do think that they should go for this fight. Like, I don't think going for the fight is the issue here.
He sees you walking in the bush.
You see them go in.
You saw him walking in the bush. There is no excuse.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like, you can play it slow. You're setting up a beautiful, like, yeah, even without the ult available for Diablo, has sums available. Kellen's there at the ready. Clear, the level 6 Renekton is going to come in. Like, it was a little bit different for Raptor because he took the safe route, he got slapped. Like, maybe he was thinking that they were going to turn onto him. But if you play that fight better, and if you're BNK, like, that is according to your game plan. Now, instead, the game is, I don't want to overact, the game is not done by any means. I think this composition has so much skirmishing power that they still get at least 2 more fights before the game is truly lost. But these are the type of moments. Now you have the Viego, which is one of the core parts of this composition because they are lacking damage from the top side, right? You have the Cyan. So the reset champion already getting off to a great start after a first skirmish is a really big deal.
Yeah. I mean, Lucid being fed when you've got Zoe bubbles and Ash arrows is like... You're looking to pick someone off, you're looking to kill them very fast, and then Lucid just carries the fight. And it's fantastic. You said it during the draft, whoever gets ahead, going to be feeling very nice. And already, DK ahead, although there is that one Infernal Drake that did go to BNK, and that is going to give them an objective point. Shu does not care about clear.
It's not gonna. He's not gonna care at any point. I don't think.
If you're Sion, do you ever care?
I actually think Sion, the less you care, the better.
Yeah,
That's
it really
just the
does
type of
have that
champion he
vibe.
is. You know, some champions you really have to care, like Yone or Yasuo.
Yeah.
Italy.
That's why you see it so much in bronze.
If you're Singed, you don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if you're Tryndamere, you don't care.
You don't care on Tryndamere. What about like Nafiri? That's a bit of a...
I think every single champion is
you really
it's
try.
either a care or a no care.
Yeah. Nafiri's
Diana,
a care.
you have to care.
Yeah. Where does Teemo land on that list?
Don't care.
Don't care at all, right? Yeah.
No. Beryl doesn't care.
Now we're getting into players. Who
Right,
cares
yeah.
and doesn't?
Yeah, exactly.
This player doesn't care at all. He's just playing games. Aiming cares a lot, I'd say.
Yes,
He's
very much
definitely
so.
a player that cares a lot.
Showmaker wants to not care, but cares a lot.
Yeah. What about, I wanted to ask
Diablo
you about
doesn't
Diablo. Yeah.
Doesn't, well...
Because I knew that was going to be the next person we look at, but I wanted to ask you about his play in Challengers last year. Because you were watching a lot closer than I was. Was he, like, quite good last year in Challengers?
So with Challengers, it can be hard often because players will just be on teams that are really, really bad, and then you just take any...
Like Pace.
Like Pace, yeah. And then you take any opportunity when they have a pop-off moment, and then sometimes that's all they get is those pop-off moments, and they also look relatively better, so it can be hard to judge. But I thought for me, Diablo, yeah, was the problem with him was just that when he came in, he was like 16, and Sandbox also, or back then, Sandbox I think when he started, and then BNK more recently, it just weren't that good. And they haven't been ever since, what, like the Photon and Toland days, which is like 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
As we do have another fight. This is a big one for BNK. They need to win this, Valdez.
Yeah, they really need to. There's the Ash Arrow into a Xinjiao, so you're not really liking that. Kellen, he's trying to set up here.
Running!
They know who he is. Clear is zoned away. Xiu is in the thick of it there. But clearance is being taken out for free, and now they got a 5v4. They're looking for more than 3-man engage Braum ult as the Nico. Oh, it's just so disjointed here for BNK, and now the resets come in. As it is a nearly clean ace. Vikla is going to walk away, but just barely so. And man, that was so sad for BNK. You see that oh, he almost dies! And he might, no, he is going to live. Just trying desperately to farm.
Well, I said they had maybe 2 more fights, Valdez. I think it was, well, 1 more fight, and that was the one. That was the one they needed to win, and unfortunately they didn't. And now we have a monstrous gold lead for the Viego, but even across the board. As we take a look here, it's clear, feels safe as the Renekton, but ends up, much like Vikla did before, just getting taken down, and it feels like the hesitation for BNK
Look at this
is
Nico
crazy
ult.
here. Yeah,
oh,
it's
no.
like the timing was very unfortunate. But like, I'm not gonna lie, that looks really, but the fight was already lost.
Yeah.
Like, maybe Vikla should have ulted on top of Clear, try to save that Renekton, because if he can't sustain, like the initial burst is a problem, but maybe that's something that would be very DK to, just as I declare the game to be kind of Dunzo, to just have Beryl die like 3 times and then the game is competitive again. But we'll see. Cloud Drake is going to go over. Another Ocean Rift coming through here for us, Valdez.
Yeah, you know, recently it was pretty foggy. A lot of humidity. Not a lot of time to talk about the weather here as Diablo wants kills. Beryl and aiming. Will they stay? I mean, they have the Viego Lucid nearby. Kellen also nearby as a... a little dude just hopping around. But, yeah, not going to be able to pick up any kills down there. This Zoe, though, I mean, he only has 1 kill. The Viego here, Lucid picking up the majority, but the Zoe feels pretty good so far, I have to say.
It does. Showmaker has obviously played this, as of many of our more tenured mid laners. Champion was basically mandatory, and really does take a lot of games to kind of wrap your head around, and not just in a mechanical sense, but also how to play around it as a team. But so far, it seems like DK, it is something that they're able to just kind of slide back into, even though there's only 2 players remaining on the team. Everyone else has been changed up. Winter now done for Shiu, and 3K deficit for BNK here. There's, I think, one way where they're able to take the next one. That's if they can take down Lucid immediately.
Speaking of which,
yeah, as I was saying, that's kind of your angle.
Yeah. Well, it's not Kellen's job to do it alone.
Oh, he needs help. Yeah,
they could pull him in. Okay, here we go. Well, they're going to get the root here on the Braum. A lot of damage is coming out from the Kalista. Hopping forward. That's another really nice ult from Beryl. The ult comes in from the Ashe. Nice knock up here from Kellen. And now you got the Galio on top. Beryl will go down. And Lucid is just trying to escape, aiming forced to flash. And BNK, they just get there quicker and make more of it. As Vicla's going to block that damage. He's been doing that all game.
Really nicely done by BNK there, not getting too down by the fact that they are in a deficit right now. It is a heavy investment, though. That's the only thing that makes me a little bit worried, because even though the plans are working out, that triple flash is now gone. You do get the sums for aiming, but aiming to me doesn't feel like he's the core of this composition. Definitely is that Viego-Zoe combo. So it's nice, and I do like the aggressiveness, as we see here. The reason why you get so much value with that Nico Kalista combo, you get the thrower in, and then Kellen also gets the root off. Then here, things like a little dire Diablo flashing into a Ashe arrow as well, so it takes a little bit longer for Beryl to die, and that might end up actually being a big deal, because if he dies a little bit earlier and they get Lucid, I think you're 100% back in the game. Now you're still very far behind, and the play was nice, but no turret gained, no objective gained. Sandals still undetermined, and BNK are most likely going to get it. But we'll see, as a Herald fight should be imminent. 20 seconds before that is going to come through here.
You can see they were stealing the Raptors, maybe trying to set something up there in mid, but you got to be really careful before the spawn. 2 top laners. You see that Clear has TP, Shiu does not. Also Clear's up a level. Again, Shiu doesn't really care about this Renekton. He's Sion, he's just going to sit here and tank it up, but in terms of who's going to be getting there, he can also Sion ult up the river if really need be.
Yeah, the ult being level 2 for Clear is actually quite nice.
Yeah.
I think Shiu's job is just to ensure that he can't join. Because if they don't have the Renekton, I do think the composition loses a lot of its power. Diablo does have plans available, so not too much of a suitable target.
When are we going to see the Chovy Nico engage from Kellen? Do you remember?
I do remember. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, if you guys do not know,
Chovy special.
He pretended to be the clone. He walked forward, emoted, as the clone would, and then he just ulted the whole team. Because they're like, oh yeah, that's the clone. It was amazing. Really nice sleep here. Arrow blocked by, actually, the clone. So nicely done by Kellen, I guess, utilizing the clone. But really, the story here, I think, is just the Zoe getting out of hand a bit at this point in time, especially when not a lot is going on. The poke is really beginning to hurt.
Ooh, Herald was also taken. Showmaker, I assume, is feeling very confident that they'll get the Sandals, because he just went Swifties.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was running around. It did also flash.
Gotta go fast.
Ooh, could have been big if they hit Raptor there. Not going to be the case. Oh, Clear. They don't know.
Not knowers at this point. The flank is fantastic. Showmaker in a bit of trouble, but he is able to flash away. And now Clear is going to be the one that goes down. A double knockup comes in onto the front line as aiming is just dead. And maybe we'll have Lucid too as he gets a kill and dies simultaneously. Bit of a 3-on-3 at this point in time. The knockups from the Scion are so huge, but the Xin Zhao also going massive, and Showmaker goes too close to the sun and gets taken down. BNK, they're going to be the ones that take this fight in a huge way. Xiu, he's very tanky. They're looking for a bit more. 3-man knockup is pretty cool.
Just let him go, it's fine.
It's just a Scion. Just take the dragon.
Huge win there for BNK, and DK get lulled into a false sense of security because Clear just gets popped here. So start with this. Barrel's a really good ultimate there. The disengage prevents the rest of the team from saving Clear. And then here, they're feeling great, but look at what happens to aiming. Doesn't have his sums, and then a knock-up combination, all the CC, as DK just run headfirst into all those circles, ends up backfiring immensely, and then, in classic DK fashion, not one to double down. Particularly, Showmaker obviously doesn't have his flash, used it earlier, so just walks up and kind of goes down. They do need to try to deny this charge from the Herald. We might have another fight on our hands here as Barrel gonna go in, go get it, and the timing on the route there not perfect. Now the Dragon fight. The action is here, Valdez. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it is here to stay. That sleep actually going to land there onto Kellen as Vikla. Oh, a flash in front of the punch. You got to be kidding me. But Nico comes in. Kellen trying desperately to secure the fight, but it's not going to happen as Diablo gets too close to the team, and the whole front line had already gone down. Showmaker flashing all over the place. They want to take turrets. They want a bigger gold lead here. And they're going to get that mid turret and look for the Ocean Drake.
And they're just one objective away is BNK from getting that crucial feat, and they're not going to get it. At least not with this objective. Adakan is about to spawn in the top side of the map as well. And as we can see, all these fights basically come down to, on BNK's side, what is the CC chain that they can find, and can they draw out the fight, and then for DK, can Lucid pop off? And here, even though the stalling is there, there's just not enough follow-up damage, right? They're missing their Renekton damage. And the moment that Lucid picks up anyone, in particular Galio, you're not going to be able to win that fight. Like, he needs to be taken out of the fight early on if you want to have success.
Now, I know I said nice things about Xiu earlier on, and then he went 0-4, 0-3, and then died again in this game, got dove. But his Scion is so good.
It is.
Really, his Q usage is the one that really gets me. Like, every time, the angle is perfect. Like, he always has the right slam. And that time, it was actually the aiming ult that hit Diablo. He cleansed it, and then he got knocked up by Xiu Scion, who was just in the thick of, like, 7 people, and just had the perfect angle to knock up the Kalista instead.
That was not the slap target, and it still did a ton of damage. The arrow, gonna miss.
Wow.
Also, that was, I'm pretty sure they were just beating up on the clone.
Yeah.
As Barrel, as we all have established, does not care.
Barrel
maybe should.
Yeah, well, he is able to
Never mind.
Baiting the TPs, I guess. The Scion comes on in, the Renekton as well, but Clear not nearly as tanky. You see, oh no, not again, the anti-synergy, as Kellen was going for the ult and Diablo pulls him back. That's the second time. That's just not forgivable. And at this point, Vikla's dead as well, and that should be the Otacon going over to DK, as there's not really much hope for B and K to get close to this one.
That's a bit of a whimper to end on, because that's going to be Otacon. That should solidify the win here for DK, but BNK, that fight just felt like a mess, unfortunately. Again, learn our lesson that Barrel goes wherever he pleases, and the follow-up is there. A lot of damage goes into him. They're not able to actually take him down, and I want you to pay attention to how much disruption Xiu causes here. Because he effectively takes out Diablo, and Kellen out of the fight. And then I know, again, like if that ult hits, maybe more people get out, but I think the fight is lost before that. All the damage going in the barrel, and then follow that up with the fact that Shiu basically takes this poor Kalista out of the fight immediately. That alone is enough, but as you're saying, the fact that it happens twice, like you need to have that combo on lockdown if you're going to be playing this comp.
I'm also a little bit confused about the positioning of Diablo. You know, they saw the Scion TPing in. The rest of the team is pushed away, right? So you only have the Scion in front of you. Why is the Kalista in range to get ulted by Scion? You know what I mean? Like,
you're right.
Just little micro things like that. Like Diablo, don't get me wrong, mechanically, he's a fantastic player, but still kind of learning.
You can see
some of the little things. He's still got a little challenger in him that we got to hammer out, you know. Unfortunately, as Kellen, well, he's just getting poked out. I mean, they have the voracious Otacon, so they're just running it down in a good way. As here comes the Scion, they're going to take out Vikla, and that'll be a second kill on the board here for DK, and they will be looking for their second kill in terms of match score. Looking for the 2-1 here, as I'm not sure that Clear, Raptor, or Diablo can do much of anything in this one. You have the bubble coming in. You've got Clear. The Zoe is well and truly online. Shiu just tanks the turret. He's like, yeah, I heard they got buffed. And Kellen, he says, this time, don't ult me away. And, well, he didn't, but the ult still doesn't matter. The Braum! The Braum ult is so good every single time. And this time, Shiu doesn't quite get the knockup, but it doesn't seem to matter. They still have the buff, as you mentioned. And Shiu just stares them down the entire time. No wave, no matter. They'll just wait for the next one.
17 seconds left on the buff. If you could stall long enough, maybe you can kill them for real, but I think your base is falling, Valdez.
Yeah, the base is falling. They are going to get the Scion. Yeah, they are. As Showmaker desperate to die, and he will, right before the buff does run out. Here's Vikla. Very interesting angle. Seems like they are going to know he's here. And if he's alone, he just dies. But we do have Diablo running through the jungle, desperate to try to help out. We've got a ult away, but now it's just Diablo. So, guys, yeah. Very interesting. Anyway, BNK gonna lose 2 of their members, desperate to try to get something back. The game is in a really rough spot. They're trying to do something, and it's not working out. Let's just say that.
BNK, like him or don't like him, they will never give up before the Nexus has fallen. They will keep fighting. Unfortunately, the item breakpoints at this point just not really going to be in a position where they can do anything.
Wow.
The return of Zoe. Heralded with a win, Valdez. We'll take those.
We will take those. Showmaker Zoe, one of many fantastic Zoes. And I hope we get to see a bit more here at the LCK Cup. This Nexus is going down. Diablo's like, well, I'm going to get some kills at least. He gets the one, takes his 5th death, and BNK will take their 2nd loss. After DK pads the stats just a little bit, 26-minute win goes the way of DK in the 2nd game. Well, the 2nd win, I should say, for the side of D plus Kia.
BNK, they bring us to a game number 3, but this one I think might sting the most out of all 3. I actually like the drop that they had set up, but it really just came down to misexecution in a couple of the crucial fights, right? Both Vikla and Clear kind of getting collapsed upon and just going down immediately, and then the anti-synergy between Kellen and Diablo, something that they